What's up guys, Nanu Garage here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the best seating position and why your seating position is so important. Let's get into it. Your driving position when you're operating a vehicle is more important than you may actually think it is. And throughout the process of getting a license here in California with your driving schools and your permit and your driver's test, driving position isn't a big part of it. And I'm gonna say the elephant in the room, which is the driving schools do not teach you the right way to operate a motor vehicle. They are all about how your mirrors are placed and if you're just sitting in the car and you can reach the pedals. And with these driving schools, they do not teach you where your hands are properly supposed to be placed, how you're supposed to be able to turn the wheel with your movement of your hands, and they do not focus on those things. And that is something that they're really missing out on and needs to be focused and touched on, is how you can reach the pedals, how you can turn the whole entire wheel, where your hands are placed and where your seat is sitting. And there's many great tips and many great ways to set up a perfect driving position. And also stick around for the last thing that I'm going to say in this video, because I've watched all the YouTube videos out there on this and I haven't seen a single person mention this one thing when you're driving behind the wheel of a car. Having the best seating positions and to be safest for every single circumstance, and this will definitely give you extra safety and extra mobility when you're on these back roads, especially in a spirited drive with a sports car. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna share with you all of the tips and tricks in how you set up your perfect driving position. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so now I'm sitting inside of my Shelby Gt350 and I'm gonna be showing you guys the first thing you wanna do. First thing you'd wanna do is slide your seat forward, and now we're gonna test out to see if it's too far forward or too far backward. So you wanna be able to push your brake pedal completely in without your leg getting straight and your leg being still in a very comfortable position, not putting too much stress on it. So when you lift off, you also don't want your leg to be, for example, if I put my seat forward, you don't want your leg to be super far forward or your knee hitting anywhere around here. I can hit my brake pedal from sitting right over here without my knee anywhere close to hitting here. You do not want it hitting anywhere here interfering. I can completely push that down and I can completely hit my gas. So now if you're in an automatic vehicle, that's all you need to know. However, if you're in a manual vehicle, now I'm going to be talking about the clutch pedal. So when you push in your clutch pedal completely, you do not want your leg, for example, to be like this. You do not want your leg to be completely extended out or struggling to reach the bottom of your clutch pedal. Even this is too far extended for your leg to push the clutch pedal in. You want to be in a comfortable spot where I can push my brake pedal all the way down, push my gas pedal all the way down, push my clutch in. As you can see, my leg over here is not at all next to straight, and I still have complete control. My leg is still feeling completely strong to push and release the clutch. This is basically based on how comfortable you are pushing these in and out, and you do not want to be putting stress on any of your legs or muscles when doing this, because when you are driving fast, when you are driving on a track, it's really going to wear you out quickly. So now the next thing is going to be, you want to be in a comfortable position where you have the most control of your steering wheel. This is one of the most important things that I don't see many new drivers doing, and I really think it is an extremely important part of your driving if you were to lose control. So I'm going to tell you what I mean by that and how to adjust it correctly. So with my shoulders completely against the backrest, as you can see, this is too far out of range where the wheel is right now. If I simply pull on this lever right here, let's move it all the way as close as I can to me. So as you can see, my wrist touched the top. However, what I want to be doing is with my back completely against the backrest, I want my wrist touching the top and hanging over easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this forward right over here. My wheel is completely out right over here. And now I am able to put my wrist up on here with my shoulders completely back, and it'll hang over the wheel. So now that I have that correctly done, the next thing you want to test that I haven't seen anyone on YouTube say or tell their viewers to try out is turn your wheel. Where you're always going to be wanting to turn your wheel from, which my driving school taught me when I was learning to drive, 10 and 2 was always the way to go, which is completely false. Do not listen to 10 and 2. It is complete BS. 10 and 2 is false. 10 and 2 is wrong. Don't do 10 and 2 if you're driving fast. I personally think if you have a car that may slide out its back end, it's dangerous to drive 10 and 2. So 9 and 3 right over here, at your left and right where the grips usually are, is where you'd want to be holding your wheel. You'd want to be holding your wheel over here at 9 and 3 and almost have about a 90-degree bend between your elbow and your arm. This is how you know that you are in the correct position. So now the next thing to tell if you're in the correct position, with your hands at 9 and 3, you want to be able to turn your wheel completely upside down like this without your shoulder back here lifting off of the seat rest. So some people, when they are too far back, for example, they'll turn like this, and as you can see, I have this huge separation between me and the back of the seat right over here. And that is a no-no. You do not want that, because when you're driving fast on a long drive or on the track, you're gonna get worn out because your muscle over here is gonna have to stretch to push the wheel that way, and over repetition of stretching to push the wheel, you're gonna get more and more worn out, which is another safety hazard. So I'm gonna move my seat back up, check that I can still press my brakes, still press my clutch, still press my gas. All right, 9 and 3 touching my wheel. I can turn it completely upside down with my back against the backrest. So now note, another important thing when driving is when you're turning, you do not want your hand to be pulling. You always want to be pushing. So for example, if I am turning towards the right side, I'm gonna have my left hand pushing up on the wheel, and this hand right over here is not gonna be pulling the wheel. You do not want the stress on your hand to be pulling the wheel, because when you're pushing the wheel like so, your back is being pushed into the backrest, but when you're pulling, your body's being pulled forward, which gets your body tired from pulling forward. So that's why you want to be pushing it, because you're pushing yourself into the backrest. That's why you always push on the 9 and 3 position. So I'm going to be turning left. This hand is going to be pushing. This hand will not be pulling. It'll just be here. So we're pushing to keep ourselves back in the seat. So now that tip for me, when you push, your back cannot lift off the backrest, has been one of the most meaningful things that I have learned through my driving experiences. I had learned this from a guy who's been racing for Porsche for more than 30 years. And he's a professional at this, and he told me that's the best way to gauge your driving position. You do not want to be getting tired. Tired is the last thing you want to be doing, and you always want to be in full control of the wheel. So now when turning your wheel, if your back isn't completely pushed into the backrest, it can either be too far back, or if it feels uncomfortable, it can be too far forward. So you want to get the sweet spot where you're not lifting your back off, but it's still extremely comfortable. So as you can see right here, I feel that my shoulder blade is slightly lifting off. So I'm going to move my backrest a little bit forward. Try it out again. Right there, that feels like the sweet spot. That's the 90-degree angle in the arms. I'm able to completely, I feel like I'm in 100% control of the car, and this is the perfect spot for you. All right guys, so as you can see, 9 and 3 right over here, I'm able to push and completely turn my wheel upside down a little bit more than 180 degrees. So that's how you know it's going to be completely perfect. It feels 100% comfortable to be able to do this. Also, one thing I have in the GT350 is these massive bolsters right here. If you find your elbow hitting the bolsters, which I learned during racing school that happened to me, just simply either tuck your elbow into here when you're pushing, or you can put it out like this right over here. So that's another thing if you have large bolsters like I do in the GT350. So just be aware of that too if you run into that issue. So like I said, 9 and 3, you have the most control. And I'm gonna show you where 9 and 3 came in handy for me, and I'm gonna throw up a clip right here. All right guys, so this just about wraps up today's YouTube video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, also hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my content. We got the Shelby Gt350, Cadillac CTS-V, Ford Raptor, and 1968 Camaro, all sitting in Nanu's garage, and I am gonna keep on making epic content with all of these cars, and I cannot wait to bring it to all of you guys. The content's gonna keep on getting better and better. Also, make sure you share this around with some of your friends. If you notice they don't have the proper driving position, make sure you share this video with them, because there's so many teens out there who are driving their car fast. I think if you are gonna drive your car fast, which all of us are guilty of doing so because it's fun, at least do it correctly and have the most control over your car. Because without having the most control over your car and the other seating positions, it really can be dangerous. So for all of you guys watching, make sure you guys share this out with all of your friends and tell them this is the proper way to be driving your vehicle. This is how you should be doing it. The way you're doing it may not be the safest. If you're driving fast, just do it in this way. It's way better. So just like that, this brings us to the end of today's YouTube video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit a like. Make sure you share it with your friends. I look forward to seeing all of you guys in the next video. All right, guys, so now